Hi, Amandeep. Let's take a look at your new set of essays. Getting married and having babies in your 30s. Let's see what you said. Nowadays, a majority of the people get married and start family planning at a later age, yet some people prefer to give birth at a young age. Personally, to a greater extent, I support the positive development. What does that mean? I support the positive development. Um, you didn't say which one is a positive development, so it's really unclear what you support. Be more clear here. So personally, to a greater extent, I support marriage and parenthood at a later age, using examples from UK government. All right, that's all right. To begin, maturity is a must to lead a happy married life. A person should be mature enough before getting married. It will not only be beneficial for soulmates, but also for family, because marriage is a thing which combines two families together. Hence, maturity is a must to solve family disputes and handle conflicts wisely. Moreover, couples should have a great level of understanding between them, which is found only at the age of 30. All right, well, here's the thing. You have a lot of really basic sentences here, and you haven't really given me a lot in terms of extension and in terms of illustration and in terms of examples. So let's see. You say here that marriage is a thing which combines two families. Therefore, maturity is a must to solve family disputes. I would have liked some sort of an example here. So something along the lines of people in their 20s, for example, tend to be more selfish, tend to lack the maturity and the communication skills in order to solve problems that tend to be rather complex, whereas when they're in their 30s, people have to some degree mastered these elements of interpersonal relationships, making maturity an important feature of relationships. So something like that. And again, the same thing is important here to also just illustrate it a little further. Okay. A survey conducted by UK government shows that the proportion of divorce cases increases from 40 to 60% by, what do you mean by 2014? Due to the lack of understanding between couples, especially younger ones, especially younger ones, no in. Thus, understanding and feeling and the feeling of being responsible is a must. Again, this is like the third time I've seen this expression. You have to vary it up a little bit. You have to give some range and some variety to your lexical resource. So it is a must among couples to live a fruitful life. Apart from this, a person, whether male or female, should be consistent and stable in their life. One should have a stable source of income. Here you need to say that this stability is typically only found after one reaches 30 years of age. When people are in their 20s, they're still studying, they're just starting out. Therefore, in order to provide a stable and financially secure family background, one should be in his or her 30s. So they can provide better education and lifestyle to their children. All right, there's really, okay, what happened here? You have another paragraph. However, in one's 30s, people face a pool of medical problems regarding pregnancy. Although it is a mature age, it is not the best age for giving birth. Indeed, over 90% of individuals consistent with the line of, what? No, that doesn't work here. You can't use this expression here. Indeed, over 90% of individuals agree that the 20s maybe is the most appropriate age for pregnancy, and it is recommended by doctors as well. Hence, it is possible to state beyond doubt, without the thought, that younger ages are most suitable for birth. All right, there's some awkward, I don't know what fourth means here. In conclusion, it's one's choice. Get rid of A, to get married, IED, at an early age or a later age, but one should consider long-term plans and be capable of taking responsibility before bringing a child into the world. All right. So here's the thing. Did you have a viewpoint? Yes, you did. Did you make it clear in the beginning? No, you didn't. I wasn't really sure what any of this meant, so I had to get to your conclusion to really understand what you were trying to say. And even the development of your paragraphs created some confusion as well, because here you talk about how it's great to be in your 30s. Here you talk about how it's great to be in your 30s, and all of a sudden, in this paragraph, in your third body paragraph, you say, oh, but wait, if you want to get pregnant, you should be much younger. So I'm always a big fan of showing both sides of the argument, but what was strange was that you had two paragraphs in favor of getting married in your 30s and one paragraph against it. So I would really advise you against this type of development. It's okay to have one paragraph in favor of and one paragraph against, but not 2 versus 1. It looks like you're arguing one side of the argument much more than you are the other side. Okay? Also, a lot of the grammar and the vocabulary was repetitive and it was inaccurate. So that's a big problem I'm going to need you to work on. I need you to try to use some of these more advanced grammatical structures, some more variety in your vocabulary. Okay? Let's take a look at your task 1 now. Okay, here it is. The line graph illustrates the information about rainfall in England, Scotland, and Wales, capital W, in 2018. Units are measured in millimeters, S. Overall, it can be seen that in the initial months, the rainfall in England and Wales, capital W, were less as compared to Scotland, not whereas here. However, in the final months, the rainfall increased in Scotland, in England and Scotland more than in Wales. Okay, so you have to make some changes here. You keep making Wales a lowercase. I don't understand why. Make sure it's uppercase. To begin with, Scotland was a leading country where the greatest millimeter of rainfall was recorded, followed by Wales. At the start of the year, the rainfall in England was only 100 ml. After that, the figure fluctuated dramatically and reached above 100 ml in December. Moving further, Wales, where the rainfall was seen below 50 ml. Okay, there's awkwardness here. All right. Moving further, in Wales, the rainfall was seen below 50 ml, but a gradual increase was recorded in the month of February, capital F. Again, a decrease was seen for 2 further months. However, over the next months, a sharp rise was seen and rainfall reached its peak point, but again, it decreased drastically with some variations. All right. I don't have much information though. I mean, so if we're talking about Wales, you tell me one figure for the entire 12 months, just as 50 ml. And then you tell me that there are increases and there are peaks and there are increases and there are decreases, but you never tell me where any of this is. So I have absolutely no frame of reference. Is it like 5,000 millimeters? Is it 20 millimeters? You have to give me a little more information than just this 50. Similarly, over 50 ml of rainfall was recorded in Scotland in January, yet in March, capital M, it surpassed 100. What does that mean? It was over 100, and then you say it crossed. I don't know what that means at all. Did it fall to under 100? Did it rise above 100? That's really confusing. In the following months, no, not up and down trend. We call this fluctuation was seen. Fluctuation. However, at the end of the year, rainfall remained only 110 in Scotland. I don't know why you're saying only 110 when in the beginning it began at 100. So this is really confusing. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces of data, but I feel like I know very little about what happened in Scotland. Knowing what I know of this graph, there are a tremendous amount of ups and downs. So I feel like I really know very little about the trend in Scotland. The same is true for the other two countries. While you wrote a lot, you didn't really give me much in terms of information. If I were to try to visualize this line graph, I really couldn't. Try to just plot it out without having the graph in front of you, and you'll see that it's difficult to really figure out what happened, okay? So, I mean, look at this. England, the figure fluctuated and it reached over 100. So I have really very little idea what's going on here. And I want you to keep that in mind, essentially, when you're writing a task 1. I want you to try to describe the data so that the person reading it doesn't really need to look at the graph or the chart that you're looking at. They can at least get an approximation, a general idea of what you're looking at. And that's really difficult to do here. Despite the fact that you wrote quite a bit, there's very little in terms of information that would help somebody be able to do that. Okay, so make the changes you need to make. Let's see how you correct this, and I'm looking forward to your next set of essays. Good luck with them.